Hey everyone, just a little primer as to what kind of pochade box you might want to invest in. I have to confess, I have 4, maybe 5 different styles that I use for different things. One's for hiking, one's for flying, one's for tailgate painting, one's for going to workshops, facilitating workshops. I want a bigger palette space, but they're all portable. So I just pick and choose whichever one is going to suit me for whatever the situation is. Sometimes I take a wagon into where I'm painting. Here's my little wagon over here. In which case I don't need to pack so light. Other times I'm hiking, so obviously I'm going for lightweight and portable. So here's a few different kinds of boxes that I use. This first one is fashioned after the Daybreak easel or the Day Tripper easel. You can Google either of these online and find them really easily. I think they mostly need to be bought out of the States, this variety. However, if you're handy with woodwork, this is what it is it's just a little homemade box. And it opens up like this. It's got 2 pallet extensions and some horns on it. So watch how this fits onto the easel. It just goes on by gravity. And it's very, very sturdy. Then there's a mast that comes with it that actually, here, I'll move it a little bit closer so you can see it better. It actually folds up into being just a stick. And then you bring it down and then, of course, mount your canvas in here. It's adjustable. This one will go up to, I think that's 12 inches. So you do a 12 by 16 would be the biggest size you could do on that. But you can buy different sizes of masts, so that's great. Now, I use this one if I'm flying or if I'm hiking because it is just featherweight. And the easel it's on is really light too. You don't have to buy, or tripod rather, you don't have to buy an expensive tripod. Just a regular camera tripod with a quick release head from London Drugs or Walmart will work quite well. So the second one I want to show you today is my Strata. So move that a little bit closer for you. The Strata is designed differently. It's one of the box styles, and so it's aluminum. It weighs quite a bit more than that one, but it's very, very sturdy. Nothing can break on this bad boy. She says as she breaks it. Okay, so you can see how stiff this is, so the wind isn't going to influence it at all. It's got 2 side trays that you can buy with it that are optional. This one's, not cheap, especially if you're Canadian and you have to pay duty and that sort of thing, possibly even brokerage. I think by the time I got this one up to Canada, it cost me about $500. You can buy them in different sizes. This one's called the Mini, and this adjusts like so. This goes up and this adjusts up, so it can take 6 by 8, 8 by 10, 9 by 12, 12 by 16, and the great thing is that this all nests, so it fits together really, really nicely. Now, to show you how you deal with various other aspects, here's my solvent tin, and I suggest if you're plein air painting, get one of these. You can get them on Amazon. They're not expensive. They're under $30, and they are leak-proof. And so this one comes with a clip, so I hang it off my box like so. And then I have a bungee cord, and I use that and I attach it just like that. And there's my paper towels. The next thing I want to show you is a little homemade hack. The things we figure out, necessity is the mother of invention. So this is a tube that is made out of PVC pipe. This is the variety that you get for the sizes for built-in vacuum, I believe. And so you buy a cap and then you saw it, and then you put one of these rims on it, and then get a piece of this is actually metal drywall corner bead, and I had to trim it down a little bit with tin snips. And so I keep my main paint on there, like I can squeeze out in the studio for my big tubes, which is way cheaper than using all small tubes. I bring a couple extra tubes like my white and my ultramarine blue and the colors that I go through more quickly. And at the end of the day, it just fits right on here. There, you can see it there. And at the end of the day, I just stick it back in here so I don't have to throw away any big blobs of paint. I'll of course clean my working surface, but this is done, which is awesome. And it worked well for that, so why not try it for this? Here's all my brushes. So, you know, of course I wash them with Gamsol at the end of the day, but if they're not thoroughly washed and you're painting subsequent days, like if you're on a trip or something, if you wash them quite well in the Gamsol and then put the lid on them, the paint's not going to harden on them. So that's a really great idea, isn't it? I wanted to show you a third box. I don't have a third tripod, so I'm just going to put this one on my lap. This is called the Ella Prima Pochade, and some of you might have seen this if you've done much plein airing at all, but it's a skookum box. Now this is a bigger one. This is 11 by 14, and it's got a computer hinge, right? This is run on a magnet, so this moves up and down. Ugh, it's kind of stiff and grody though. This is spring loaded, so it adjusts. You can see mine is well loved and well used. And it has two side trays that I put on if I'm not hiking. This is one I actually take to a workshop quite often. When I'm painting out in the field, I don't worry about having as big a palette. I just clean it more often, and the payoff is I don't have to haul as much stuff, as much weight, right? And the bonus of this one is that it actually has, if you look inside the lid, that's a wet panel carrier. And see this little thing in here? This comes out. It's magnetic, and it lets you adjust the size of panel that you're going to carry. So right now it's adjusted for 8 by 10, so two 8 by 10s go in here back to back, and then you can store them. If you take it out, I guess you take 11 by 14. You can slide a 6 by 8 in this way, and so, you know, that's quite versatile. The other thing I want to show you, if you don't have a Pochade box that has that, just grab some of these. This is, where is it on here? Panelpack.com. So these are not expensive. They're maybe $20 US. So, you know, shipping and handling and that sort of stuff always, and exchange of course brings it up. But it's so slick because it's so lightweight, and it just works like this. You put two wet panels face to face like this, and they're kept apart by this little spacer in there, so their surfaces don't touch. And you just plop it in like that. Now Panel Pack will make these in custom sizes, but what I do when I plein air paint is I just always plan to work 6 by 8 or 8 by 10. That way I can fit a 6 by 8 in here. I can also fit an 8 by 10 because they share one side is the same measurement, so it works for both, trust me on that. So if you go with a box like this or a box like the Strata, you don't have a panel carrying capacity, but you don't need a great big bulky you know, multi-panel carrier. You just need to be able to carry 2 to 3 panels, usually 2. If you're hiking someplace, that's usually all I get done in a day. So that works really well for that. Now I want to talk to you about one other thing, a consideration. It's not just the bulk or the weight or the ease of setup, but you want to consider what's going to happen. Like right now I'm in shade of a big tree, and so this is sort of an ideal painting situation where I got lots of ambient light coming in from all directions, but none of it is hitting my palette or my support. So when you've got a setup like this, this upright of course is on one plane, and then this is on another plane. So if I'm facing into the sun is going to hit my palette but not my support, and that's going to play silly bugger with my eyes. My eyes are going to be constantly having to adjust from here to here, and also from here to in behind, but you know, that's another conversation. So that's the disadvantage of these. It's great if you've got an umbrella or if you can set up in the shade. If you're setting up in full sun, you might want to think about something like this, because the sun will, you know, if you're painting in full sun, generally the rule of thumb for plein air is you paint into the sun with a brimmed cap to keep the sun out of your eyes, of course, and then this will shade your palette so that this and this are in the same light. The other thing that's kind of great about this system is that with a box that's mounted this way, I can tilt it like this and like this so that it's easier for mixing. I can change the angle, whereas with this configuration you can't really. Now that's only a problem for some people. you have to kind of watch and see what other people are using and imagine how you paint. I mean, if you're painting, great big, if you're using a lot of paint and you need to use a pellet knife and get in there, then the angle of your pellet does make a difference. Otherwise, not so much. So yeah, that's 3 basic setups. Another one I would suggest is the Sienna easel, which I know Swinton's Art Supply carries in Calgary. And you can get them for under $300 Canadian, and they are a nice box. A little less expensive than the Strata, a lot less expensive than the Ella Prima, which has to be custom made. Daybreakeasel.com or Daytripper, check them out. I would say that, I like at least an 8x10 palette size to work on when I'm plein air, but they do come as small as 6x8, some of these. And so you have to decide, how big do I want to paint? How much paint do I need to mix? And how much weight and bulk am I willing to carry? Am I going to be painting off the back of my car? Am I going to be flying in a plane with it? So it's good to, just like you like different outfits for different occasions, different boxes for different occasions. Anyway, that was a very short course. If you get something out of this, then I'm glad. It's a big investment, I know, but I hope that you'll decide to become a plein air painter. It's been one of the greatest adventures of my life. Okay, maybe I'll see you out there. Cheers.